Okay, we are ready to roll. So thank you guys for calling in. I have been reading a new book, and what I always like to do is kind of create little uh, educational segments for you guys, because I don't ever know if you guys take the time. And so with our business is so simple. It may not always be easy. We always say that. But the hard part about our business is up here. And it's so vital that you get emotionally stable with who you are, where you're going, what you want, and that nobody can stop you. Okay. Nobody's words, nobody's actions, nobody's rolling of the eyes. And so everything that I teach, our Zoom, our YouTube channel is full of what I called in the field training. Okay, you can, from booking, coaching, our skincare classes, Marianne's skincare class. The only skincare class that's not on there is Jennifer Dixon's, and I am going to be asking her in the next week if she can join us. She's my other sales director in Calhoun. She has a fantastic skincare class. That way you have all four of us who are hard workers in the field. We know how to do a presentation. We know how to sell product. But for tonight, it's all about what's up here. And stay on, okay, because I'm going to give you a lot of information. I want you to stay on. Don't hang up early, because the secret formula that I found is at the end of my notes, okay? Dreams. Let's talk about dreams. Last week we talked about dreams, and desires is what gave you that fifth gear. That's what gives a champion that fifth gear that sets you apart from everybody else. But dreams keep you going. Dreams keep you going. Goals keep you on course. Okay. And we've always said, and this is one of the first quotes I ever heard of Mary Kay. You will miss every goal. A goal that is never set will be missed every time. A goal that is never set will be missed every time. Okay. And that's like Michael Jordan used to always say, you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. You miss 100% of the shots that you never, ever take. And I know Morgan Thomas, she knows all about that, because she was a basketball star. She played, I think they won like 2 or 3 state championships. So she knows all about holding the ball too long and not taking those shots. But I think in life, we're all so afraid of making those shots, of making a mistake. And that is the wrong attitude to have. And so we've got to change the way that we think, so that we can move forward and be victorious. All right. So I want you to ask yourself this. Do you have a goal? What is it that you want? Okay. Desire, a burning desire, like I said, is what gets you to that fifth gear. So let's talk about the 4 principles of desire. All right. Now, if you're going to follow along with me, I'm not going to go in order, okay? Because when I give you like one of the principles, it takes you to another section of 3 about goals. And so just stick with me, follow with me, and I'll come back to give you those 4 principles, okay? And I'll help you stay on track. 4 principles of desire. Desire has a power all on its own. It is a force that is to be reckoned with, okay? Desire. What is your desire, okay? Once you act on it, it's a patterned development that will take you a long way, okay? So like my desire was, in the very beginning, was from the very moment that I read over the career path brochure. I saw everything. My director said, hey, look over this information. I'm going to mail you. Your starter kit comes in. I'm going to call you on Wednesday night at this time. I want you to kind of tell me what some of your goals are. She was so good, because she always called me on, maybe it wasn't Wednesday night, because I was always in church. It was always, I think, Monday nights. Yes. So Monday night, I'm going to call you. I want you to tell me what some of your goals are after you've read over all this. And I'll remember like this was yesterday. I had a hot pad on my shoulders, because my job in the mortgage business was so stressful. I would carry my stress right here. My back would hurt so bad. My shoulders would hurt so bad. I was cooking dinner, had the phone, because you had a phone that was hooked onto the wall back in the day, 2001. We didn't have cell phones like we do now, but I had my home phone. I was cooking dinner, and I said, okay, Roxanne calls me. I said, okay, Roxanne, I read over all the pamphlets that you gave me, and it looks like my goal is to be a national sales director. I went all the way to the top. She literally dropped her phone. I just said it so matter. I didn't know that, oh, what does that take? I just looked at it, saw the money. I saw the title. I saw what comes with it, the perks, retirement. That's what I want to be. And she dropped the phone. That was always my burning desire. There were other baby steps along the way. Sales director, earning a car, earning the pink car. Those were my steps, okay? And so what is your desire? Have you even read the Mary Kay autobiography to kind of get her in your blood running pink? Because I think so many times you don't know enough about this company to even know what you want. You don't even know what's out there for you. And I think you don't know what you have in the palm of your hand. We're going to talk about a cause and a crusade in just a second, but I don't know that you understand how big this is for you. And I don't really know that you've had a heart-to-heart with God to find out why he's really put you here. Because he gets absolutely no glory out of you failing, but he gets all the glory of you succeeding. So you have not been put here to fail by any means. You fail on your own. And so desire. So number one, from the 4 principles of desire gains strength when it has a concrete form. All right, so a concrete form, a cause, a crusade, a why, a concrete form, a goal, okay? A goal. Goal setting is the key to focusing, okay? So back away from the 4 now. You've got your number 1, but under that number 1, we're going to talk about goals. Goal setting does 3 important things. Number 1, it forces you to decide exactly what you want, okay, and exactly what your dream is. So a lot of people come in, or even just in life in general, and they're very vague. I want to be rich. I want a mansion. I want this. That is very vague, and it's hard to strategize with that, okay? So goals need to force you to be really realistic about what you want from life, okay? Number 2, under the goal setting. Goals turn your want to into to do, okay? Once you decide, you work out a strategy so you know what to do each day. Do you see what the problem is by not setting a goal? This is the key problem, is that you don't have a goal. So you don't know what your strategy is. So you don't know what to do each day to reach that goal. And I think if you look at where you've come from in the last 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, I think your problems are going to stem from really not having a goal. So where do you start with once you get a goal? Well, with our business, it's booking, customer service, career chats. Those are the simple: booking, coach, sell, recruit. That's what we do, okay? That's where you set your goals and you strategize with those things. Number 3, from the goals. Having a goal helps you to measure your progress. All right, so it keeps you from cheating on yourself. So if you don't have a goal, you don't really have anything you have to do daily or weekly or even monthly or even quarterly. So you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, seminar year's almost over. I had all this planned and I didn't do anything. It's because you didn't have a concrete goal, a crusade, okay? And so it gives you a clear way to measure your progress and your failures. That may scare some of you, okay? And it should. But if you want to do something and be somebody that did something, then it starts with the desire, the dream, and the goal. All right. So with our business, going back to how it breaks down for our business, are you a star? Are you a star every quarter? Are you now a red jacket? Are you a team leader? Here's a big indication. you've been in for several years and you still only have 10 customers in your PCP list. I'm like, okay, what's going on? We can sneeze and get 10 customers, right? You don't do your PCP. You don't do your, you don't take care of the customers that you have. You know, everything is set up for your success if you just follow the plan. A growing customer base is a great indication that you're not cheating. Okay, you've got progression of you're doing the work, you're holding some appointments, you're getting new customers. Every quarter when we do the PCP and we do our mailing, we should add new customers. You should be growing. This is a business. Okay, so now let's go back to part number 2 of the principles of desire. Desire should become an obsession, all right? Not an unhealthy obsession, but once you set goals, you keep it in you at all times, and you make it your obsession. It's all you can think about, okay? And that's going to come from, once again, having the crusade, having a reason, keeping it in front of you. It's got to be bigger. That we say in Mary Kay, what's your why? What's your why? We all have different whys. Mine was always to be home with my kids. I did it. Now mine is to help everybody else be home with their kids. That's my crusade. Having my kids in private Christian schools all these years was not always easy. When Andy took a big pay cut, I had to work harder. I had to make up that $2,000 a month bring home pay cut that he took. That was my crusade. So now my crusade is you can be home with your kids. You can raise your kids. You can make up for any pay cuts that your husband. I've done it. I believe in it. That's my crusade. That's my passion. That's my desire. I know that I can help every single woman that comes into my business, into my life. I can help her reach what she wants as long as she runs as fast as I do. And that's what I always say. I'll run fast with you, but you slow down, I slow down. Okay, I don't ever push, but I run just as fast to help you get there. That's my crusade. What is your crusade? Number 3, from the principles, the principles of desire. Desire becomes a commitment. Once you're rooted, once you're rooted in your desire is so firmly in your mind, you think about it all the time. When you make a commitment, you burn all your bridges. All right, so when I left the mortgage company after 6 months of doing Mary Kay, I don't know if you realize what a big deal that was. I did not have a college degree. I was making more money than anybody that I knew with a college degree. And I was walking away from a career where the money was what I thought at the time was unlimited, okay? But I needed to be home with my boys. I wanted to raise my own children. God knew down the road that the mortgage industry would crumble and all my friends would lose their jobs. And he took care of me. He took care of my family. What I came in for is not what I stay for. But you have to know, and you have to trust God that he sees the bigger picture. And what you're in now for is just the stepping stones for down the road, okay? Where would we be? Well, I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again because we always have new people. If I had stayed in the mortgage business, we could only afford 2 children in daycare. I wouldn't have Hudson. I definitely wouldn't have been able to adopt. I wouldn't have been spiritually mature enough to adopt an orphan from China. Let's just say that. Because the spiritual growth came through my growth in this business. I could write a book on everything that $100 starter kit did for me. And we definitely wouldn't have Mary Beth. We couldn't afford any more than 2 children. So a $100 starter kit changed my life in more ways than we can even think of. My commitment was to my children. to be home with my boys. That was my commitment. That was my crusade. So when you make a commitment, you burn your bridges. I have always said that was Mary Ann's secret. She wasn't even finished with her qualifications to become a sales director when she told her principal she was not signing a new contract for the next year. She was the main breadwinner in her family. That's a crusade. That's a commitment. She burned her bridges. So few people have the balls to do that. All right. And her husband, Chris, believed in her. Andy believed in me. Yes, go ahead, walk away from your job. You can do this. Chris, don't sign that contract. You can do this. Do you have that kind of support? Commitment works. It's not instant. Please don't think that it's instant. I laid on my sofa for a whole month with a stomach ache after work every day because I couldn't turn in my notice. Could not turn in my notice. I was going to give a 30-day notice. Couldn't do it. 3-week notice. Couldn't do it. 2-week notice. Couldn't do it. Finally, Riley got sick at daycare again. They called me. I left work. Took him to the doctor again. He was 9 months old. They tell me he has not gained in 3 months. Something's wrong with him. You've got to get him out of daycare. A 9-month-old grows. He had not grown or gained any weight in 3 months. So he was the size of a 6-month-old. And the doctor said, if you don't get him out of daycare and if he doesn't gain any weight in the next 30 days, we've got to run tests. I drove straight to my office with sick baby in tow, and I said, I can't put him back in daycare. There's something wrong with him. I have to be home with him. And I turned in my notice that day, and I was home 2 weeks later, June 1st, which was my original date that I wanted to be home if I turned in a 3-week notice. God is good. God will honor your date. He will honor your goal as long as you seek him. Commitment. It works, but it's not instant. I was ye of little faith for those first 2 weeks or that first 6 months. I knew I had that goal. My husband and I prayed on that goal. We were going to be home June 1st. First day home, do my business 2 times a week, be home with my kids. Couldn't do it, but God did. I was home June 1st, just with a 2-week notice versus a 4-week notice. God is good. So commitment is not instant, but you have to work on it. 3 states of commitment. Let's talk about this. So this is another tier, okay? 3 states of commitment that will see you through disappointment and heartache. Yes, you have those in this business. You have disappointments and you have heartache. You guys know how I feel about that. It's the hardest part of this business because my personality, I'm like, why doesn't everybody do this? Why doesn't you don't want to do this anymore? Do you not like me? I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to have fun. When you come into my unit, you're part of my family. I don't quit on you. Families don't quit on you. And so that's the part that, I'm loyal. I had the same hairdresser for 20 years, and it was like getting a divorce when I turned 40 and got a new hairdresser. It was like a divorce. I'm very loyal. And so the commitment thing is very near and dear to my heart. Families don't quit on each other. Okay, we see each other through. But there are 3 stages of the commitment, and I really want you to listen here because I'm being real and raw with you right now. There's a lying stage, okay? That's where you tell yourself, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And you tell everybody, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But deep inside, you really don't know if you're going to do it. And you just keep saying the words, hoping that you're going to hope yourself into doing it. But then you eventually look in the mirror and you're like, who am I kidding? I can't do this. You can't hope your way to the top. Okay? That's called the lying stage. Then there's the quitting stage. Things are going good, they're going pretty good for a while. Then you get some no's, you get some rejections. Then you start thinking, I need a real job. I need a real job. So then you go out, you get a real job. Then you realize that somebody special, somebody who wants to be somebody, this isn't going to get you there. This isn't filling that void that you have of doing something great, of making a difference in people's lives. And so then you realize, you know what? I'm going to give Mary Kay a try again because I didn't really do everything they said to do. I didn't really give it my full commitment. I'm going to do it again. I don't need a real job. So then you do it again, and then you get some no's, you get disappointments, and then you go back through the quitting stage again. But then the few of us that get to the do it stage, okay? You get through the quitting stage, you make it to that final commitment, the one that really counts, and now you're on the road to greatness, okay? Those are real steps, unfortunately. The 3 stages are real as rain. It's real. We all went through it. Recognizing the lying stage and the quitting stage as normal, okay? I'm telling you, you're normal. You're normal. Why do you think if I showed you all of these Mary Kay books, why do you think I have these books? Because I was emotionally unstable. Mary Ann has got a stack as tall as she is. Because we were emotionally unstable. We all are emotionally unstable when it comes to rejection. Nobody is good at that. We have to work on here. And we have to trust and believe that we're on this path for a greater cause, a crusade, okay? So what is the message about commitment? It's tough to make a total commitment. It's not an overnight decision. It's a long and ongoing process. You got to work on you. You got to read those books and you got to work on you. So now I'm getting back to number 4 of the 4 principles of desire, okay? Desire becomes endurance. Desire becomes endurance is the unwritten law. Endurance, okay? The first 18 months is tough. The first 18 months is tough. But here's something. There's a percentage, I think 60 to 70% of consultants quit after 6 or 7 weeks. They don't even make it to the first 2 months, okay? And so your first 18 months can be tough, and so you stay the course. You stay the course. Life is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Treat your business like that. The ability to hang on when things look like they're falling apart is a major difference between winning and losing, okay? The ability to hang on when things look like they're falling apart is a major difference between winning and losing. Now, let's talk about, you can see desire, you can't see desire, but you can feel it. And you can see it's present in the people whose lives are successful. You see the desire. You see you can't hold it and touch it, but you can feel it, okay? All truly successful people have known the magic of desire. It's okay to have desires. It's okay. It is like you have to. It's what's going to get you to that level of success that you are searching for, okay? Now, here are the secrets, okay? Here's the secrets. I hope the other stuff was good for you, but here's the good stuff, okay? All winners have a mastery in 6 areas. All winners have a mastery in 6 areas. But take advantage of this victory secret, okay? Master the fundamentals. What are fundamentals in Mary Kay? Booking, coaching, selling, recruiting. It's like riding a bike. You learn those, you master those, you're home free. You're home free. But here is the 3 things I want you to know. Here's the secret. You beat 50% of all the people in America by working hard, by outworking them. 50%, okay? Add this up, 50% you beat by outworking them. You just keep grinding it. You grind it and grind it and grind it. What does that mean? You keep holding those appointments. You keep making those referral calls. You keep making those booking calls. You keep making those customer service calls. You keep booking those career chats. I know I've talked about this before with Trinity and Marianne, but they were machines. We would, night after night after night of holding career chat interviews, sharing this opportunity. And I know I've said it was like 6 months with Mary Ann of going down to Warner Robins. We still didn't have a recruit. We would do all these guest events, and I would come home and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And boom, it just started happening. Trinity, I had an ongoing list because she was in Tennessee. I had an ongoing list. I would do events with her. I was either going to Tennessee 2 times a week, Warner Robins 2 times a week. I wasn't even local anymore. Maybe that's why I had to rebuild my local unit. But I had a list at one time. I remember it was a snow day. We were all snowed in for like 3 or 4 days. Our heat was out upstairs. So we were all in the basement, and I'm doing interviews with Trinity. I was on number 21. 21 no's. We kept grinding it, and finally we started getting the yeses and the yeses and the yeses. That is a machine. You are not where you are. You're not wearing that sales director suit. You're not driving a free car because you haven't grinded it out enough to get to the no's, deal with the no's to get to the yeses, okay? It's the process. So you outwork 50% of all America. Number 2, you beat 40% of America by being a person of honesty, integrity, and standing for something. You beat 40% because of those things. The other 10% is a dogfight. Okay, it's a dogfight. I'm going to explain that in a second. That is the free enterprise market. It's the dogfight. These simple concepts is the hardest for people to understand, but you have to believe it because it's all true. Now, I'm going to go over it again. You beat 50% by working hard consistently over a long period of time. You do the grind. 40% living right and standing for something. That does not mean that you live a perfect life by any means. You do not live a perfect life. But trying to live a decent life, a life that people want to emulate, to have people that want to follow you, and for you to lead somebody, you have to have a life that people want to emulate, okay? Find something to believe in. For me, like I said, I think every mom should be home with her children. I think every woman should be financially independent. I think every family should have vacations, family times. I don't think people should have to tell kids, we can't get Six Flags tickets this year. We can't go to the beach this year. We can't, I truly believe that you should teach your kids money management. My kids would always know if we were low on money during the pay cuts or whatever. Just heck, having kids in private school. We taught our kids money management. They're great. They're very savvy. And the savviest of all is my Chinese. She's always got cash, but just that's my crusade. That is my crusade of having the things that make a great family life. It's not spoiling your kids by any means, okay? What problems or shortcomings you have, 90% of the people, you can beat them, even if you have shortcomings and problems, by working harder and living a righteous life. Okay, so let's talk about the 10%, the dogfight. The last 10%, the dogfight, are going to be as tough as you. They're going to be as tough as you. They're out there grinding it out just like you are. But here's what we know about Mary Kay, and Mary Ann knows this. We're told that 1 out of 10 will work, right, Mary Ann? We know those numbers. This doesn't surprise us. 1 out of 10 will work. So if you've got 8 people on your team and you're working hard, and you're like, nobody's working. Nope, you need to get 2 more. And then one of those, you're going to find your worker. You've got to know your numbers. When you know your numbers, you're not disappointed ever. Ever. Always look at your numbers. That's with sales. That's with your in the field quotas, or what you do per face, what your team's doing. Know your numbers. I don't ever get disappointed because I can project out to the penny what we're going to do every single month and what I'm going to do, because I am a master at knowing my numbers. You want to be a master? Spend some more time with me. All right. Now, master the fundamentals. This is the last part, okay? So just hang with me. The way to build a championship business is to master these 6 things. Number 1, become a dreamer again. I know some of you have stopped dreaming. You've accepted your life. You've accepted the things as they are. You tell yourself you don't need to be this person. You don't need these things. You don't need this extra money. You do need this extra money. Extra money doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you choices. You might decide, you might put your kids or your grandkids in public school and they might get bullied. But if you do what you're supposed to do with your Mary Kay business, that wouldn't come to a surprise, and you can switch them and put them in a private school. You have choices. You never know what choices you're going to have to make where you're going to need that extra money. Okay? You never know. Number 2, have a crusade. Your why. No boss. I believe that nobody should have a boss. You know what? There was so much pressure when I had bosses. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I am a great boss to myself. I work hard, but I don't have that stress that was right here or right here because I have to worry about if a coworker wanted my job or somebody was going to talk about me if I went to lunch or stayed out with a sick kid. Nobody should have a boss. You are your best boss. Number 3, dream big, but keep it simple. You eat your elephant one bite at a time. Number 4, always be positive. Don't be a Debbie Downer. It is the hardest thing for me to change the song played in somebody's head when it's that negative record. And it's a lifelong of negative stuff that you've been raised with. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can direct you to certain books, but you have to work hard on you if you know that you are a negative person, okay? You can't plop on you anymore. You can't plop on anybody else. If people are not joining your team, it might be because of what's happening and what you're portraying, what is oozing out of you, okay? Are you a glass full, half empty, or half full kind of person, okay? Work on you. Treat people good. Treat people good. That's what Mary Kay always say. Always pretend like the person you're in front of has a sign around her neck that says, make me feel important, okay? Always make people feel important. Number 6, never give up. Never give up. The only way to fail is to quit, okay? And the last thing I want to say is, I'm just a few minutes late, there's a famous book that has been sitting on my shelf for years. Somebody actually left it here. We used to have like a little library during our meeting 10, 15 years ago when we met down here. And I've never read it, but this book is always quoted in every book I read. And I'm like, oh, I just need to read this book. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, I'm not saying you want to be rich. Being rich you can be rich in different ways. But he studied successful people for years. And he says that the one common core that is running through them, that is running through their veins, the one thing, they were able to dream. They were able to dream, okay? They were burning up inside with a dream and a desire. So you can't do anything great without a dream. That is your 5th gear. That is how you kick it into 5th gear. And as we are getting ready to end the seminar year, and maybe last year was a disappointment, you have to look for the good in the lessons that you learned. And you have to say, tomorrow is a new day, Scarlett. For those of you who are Gone with the Wind fans, tomorrow is a new day, Scarlett. And we get a do-over. But start now. Don't wait till July 1. Start now with your do-over, okay? All right, good. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody have any aha moments? Y'all are quiet. Was this good?
I think we're all on mute, Michelle.
Oh, yeah. Did I do that? Yes. Look, I really want to know what y'all's dreams are. I know
And you're still recording, Michelle. Do you want to pause it so they feel more comfortable talking?
Yes.